That was certainly a half of football. Jacoby Brissett looked good, right? But what else looked good for the Arizona Cardinals? We're trying to figure that out. Johnny Venerable, what'd you see, my guy?
Egregious football. Mixed messages being sent. My co-host chugging a beer on the cold open. You absolutely love to see that. We're not going to object you to any more of that. We're ditching halftime, going into the post game, starting now. Hey, welcome in. Hey! Presented by our friends at Circle K. PHNX Cardinals. No halftime. Post game is here. I'm scared. Hit a like for your boys. Johnny Venerable, Brack, PHNX Cardinals, your premier #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. If that even means anything anymore, Noah Man behind the mic, crushing it. Give us a like. We appreciate everybody pulling an audible. It's great. We were texting. I was in a text thread with these gremlins, and somebody on Twitter is like, "You guys should just ditch your halftime show." And I'm like, "Way ahead of you." Here we are.
Brilliant idea. No, I mean, look, that game, as far as how it started, couldn't have been worse, right? You had the offensive series that went nowhere, and then Jarrett Stidham looked like prime Brady, man, just cutting through the Cardinals defense that has Johnny. This is one of the bigger concerns of the night. A lot of guys that they're expecting contributions from on this defense, not like full out starters on defense, but like the team that Jarrett Stidham went 90 plus yards on in 4 plays. Like there are guys that you have expectations to play significant snaps on this team. Now, thank goodness for Jacoby Brissett in the offense for the second series where Brissett looked solid. But then, like, once you found out, like, once news broke that his day was done after that, the watchable football was behind us. Unfortunately, there wasn't much more to really talk about or break down that was positive.
Somebody in the chat just said, you guys better not like defend this. And I'm not going to defend anything.
No.
Here's one thing I'll preface by saying, like, historically, Gannon and Rouse's defense, sound tacklers, suffocating. It doesn't look like that. So I think that in the course of a 17-game season, you're not going to get too many of those, especially with guys like Sweaty J and Mac Wilson Sr. and Buddha out there, like, whatever. It was a really bad half, and they're going to be ripping people, right? And defensively, Denzel Burke had a nice play, gave up a couple touchdowns. Will Johnson, guys just kind of looked aloof. Cody Simon didn't look good, missing tackles. Like, I think to me, it's like this team, and again, you can't convince me anything other than this. When you send out Clayton Tune, and that's the product, then you're telling your defense for the rest of the game, you got to match this. You're matching this energy. And I know that they gave up, 2 touchdowns while Jacoby was in, and it didn't look good. But the effort defensively got progressively worse in the half. And I attribute part of that to the fact that the offense, that is not an NFL offense. I don't know what that was. Line of scrimmage throws, you're running the ball on 2nd down and 3rd down. And it's just like, why should we as a consumer care about the preseason when you are punting on the preseason a quarter into the 2nd game? We still have another nightmare game to cover next weekend. Like, I thought this was different. I thought last week you were like, intensity, let's go. Starters need to come out. And then this week, not only are you not playing people, you didn't announce it. The other coach did for you. And that was weird. And now we're sitting here and it's like, Jacoby Brissett saved their ass tonight, because if Jacoby Brissett was not good, and we're sitting here and it's just like, you guys didn't even look buttoned up to play, I mean, it's not a good week for them. This is not like, and again, it's preseason. People are going to come at me and say you're overreacting. I don't know, man. This is not the message you want to send your fans before a pivotal season where you got to win double-digit games.
Sure. Look, I mean, the finished product better look like a complete product. Like
right.
When we get to week 1 against the Saints, because it feels like the significant players for this Cardinals team, their time during the preseason is done.
Yeah.
Like the most you're going to get is what we're going to show you from practice on a daily basis at PHNX_Cardinals on Twitter and Instagram. So you're going to be against the grain again. You better have a pretty damn good team come early September. I mean, that offense, when you look at it, I'm looking at the stats right now. They had 2 less plays than the Broncos, but my God, 220 plus yards less of total offense. The Broncos put up 323 yards of total offense in the first half. They were just doing really. Jarrett Stidham, who we knew like going into this, he was fantastic in week 1 of the preseason. From our guys over at DMVR, he's been fantastic, actually, but the better quarterback throughout camp, even though there's no pressure on Bo Nix from Stidham. There's no competition there, no battle, but Stidham absolutely just torched the Arizona Cardinals on defense, and there just wasn't any kind of positives from that. I mean, outside of the Brissett stuff, like, yeah, Burke, I think the first 2 targets he faced, one, he breaks up, and then the next he kind of utilizes the sideline, and that's an incompletion, and then he's part of a busted coverage. Something went down where he and Keaton Crawford gave up a big touchdown pass in that second drive. So you can't even find the positives. And like you say with Cody Simon, like, wasn't the one where I think he met the guy at the line of scrimmage and before that missed the tackle. It was the one where the ball carrier just took the ball up the middle, and it was like this shoulder type tackle that it's like Cody Simon didn't want to get in there. It's an off-ball linebacker. Looked like he wanted to avoid absolutely KR Gordon. Nobody's wrapping up on tackles. Nobody's, the coverage isn't good. It's just been a mess of a night for the Cardinals, and it's just unfortunate because now you really have to settle in until early September before you really get a good idea of what this team is about.
Do we? Because again, the Broncos are playing starters next week. Yeah. That's been announced. Like, you get this week off, and then Bo Nix is playing next week. I don't know who the hell the Broncos are playing.
I hope so, man. Yeah, because somebody was tweeting us and saying like we're really going to be objected to 7 quarters of this.
Kyler Murray needs to play next week at home in the first possession of that game at State Farm Stadium. I'm going on the record. I have no idea what they're going to do. But you can't go into that game. Yeah, I see people on Twitter, and I get it. You're like, you can't play Jacoby Brissett more than 2 possessions. What if he gets hurt? I'm sorry. If we're doing that, what if people get hurt and it's the other teams do not care about that. They are showing you it is more important for people to be on point and refined and ready to play week 1, then we might as well just play practice squad guys for 3 preseason games. Yeah. If the mindset is we're worried about players getting hurt at quarterback in the preseason, then just don't try. Go out there and kneel the ball 3 times. But if the point of emphasis is we're out here to compete, and I got people telling me, well, Brissett, he's important. Why is he important? Is he important because Kyler Murray's in trouble? Clearly not. Then Brissett should have played this entire first half. That was a joke. And what it does is it sends a terrible message to your locker room that we don't care about Xavier Weaver's development, or we don't care about Higgy Bear and Tip Ryman was out there early. It's like you punted on the rest of this game. And unfortunately, we've seen the Cardinals with this regime do this before. It was in 2023. They threw away a game in Cleveland. And I'm like, you get a mulligan because it's your first year. It's a preseason game, but you can't subject your fans to that. Starters need to play next week. Brissett needs to play to finish the first half, and then play Tune in the third and fourth quarter. No way you can play him the whole game.
Be a long layoff. I mean, really, the last significant action Kyler Murray saw was the other day. What was it? Thursday in Denver. That would be a long time between. Maybe you're right. Maybe there is a plan in place to where they're going to see the first team offense. I think that would be, it would be beneficial. It really would.
I think the message tonight that the players indirectly sent the coaches and vice versa is we did not take this seriously. We got effing boat raced. So then everybody needs to look in the mirror this week and say, guess what, everybody? As a result, that everybody needs their ass wiped this week. We're going to play starters next week against the Raiders. Remember how we said we weren't going to do that? Guess what? We're doing it now.
Yeah.
Because and again, that's a message to the coaching staff too. It's like Nick Rallis, Drew Petzing, your units were not ready to play. If I'm Jonathan Gannon, I'm going in there and saying, you're playing your starters next week because your backups don't look ready.
Right.
And then I don't want my starters having 3 weeks off. Like I fully expect now, because this is going to be a disaster in the second half. I fully expect the starters to play next week. And then Brissett, like Kyler needs to play like a substantial amount in the first quarter. And then Brissett's going to play the rest of the first half. And then you say goodbye to Clayton Tune after the second half.
Yeah. Send them off.
I mean,
Thank you. Have the cake, the ice cream, the good luck with your future endeavors, Clayton. It's been nice. Like cover 0 and then pick up on it at all. And it's like, this is year 3 going in for Clayton Tune. It's like things that you can do to help yourself out. He's not even in doing that. And just throws aren't crisp. It's really unfortunate because you thought at the very least this guy was going to be practice squad. Is like now you just want to say, I don't even think that there's a role there. There's no future there. I think we know what this is at this point. Exactly. Move on. So like, as far as, Brissett, solid performance. I think you can hang your hat on that. You got a quintessential backup in 2025. You got a steady guy. I mean, the touchdown pass to Fiocco, I think that was fantastic. 16 yards, just right over the top of a defender. It's just how you draw it up. I mean, previous play, the play before that on third down, comical. It's like 3rd and 7. You run the ball, you get it to 4th and 1. And then you see also the benefit of having a big quarterback like Jacoby Brissett, all 6'4" of them, pushed the pile real easily and was able to convert. That was kind of like a very small, insignificant play, but important for the touchdown drive. And I think important, like, hey, maybe short yardage will look a little bit better this year if you got Brissett on the roster.
I'm telling you right now, the offense needs to look like that every possession. It needs to have that cohesiveness with the receivers. You need to spread the football around, and Kyler Murray can do that. But this offense cannot look like watching Clayton Tune and watching the jailbreak screens on 1st down, 3rd down, and just punting on possessions. Can't be doing that. And I do feel like with this team right now, Bo, there's just like had Kyler Murray played awesome in the red and whites, not the red and white scrimmage, the joint practice Thursday, right? And he converted a bunch of touchdowns and looked great in the red zone. I would come on here and tell everybody, and I'm sure you would too, like, Kyler doesn't need to play. Looks good. Everything's fine. And it was inconsistent. It was up and down. And then tonight is a disaster. There are no excuses. There is not a unit on this team as the Cardinals finally get a sack. Stidham, the nightmare is over. But there was a flag in the secondary. We're at the point now with this team. It's like, you do not deserve to sit the 3rd preseason game. You don't.
No, I mean, I think you need to show, not like, I think everybody involved that you have a better product than what you've shown, and to kind of run it back would be really kind of just waving the white flag on the preseason. And I don't think that the coaching staff is built like that. They shouldn't be built like that. They don't give me the idea that that's what they're about. So yeah, illegal contact takes away the sack. Who had it there? I just got to game back on.
No idea. Reminder, everybody, this is our post game. It's kind of default post game watch along because of the lack of effort from this team and Clayton Tune looking atrocious. We scrubbed our halftime show. We pulled an audible. I wish the Cardinals would pull an audible, frankly. If they go into next week at State Farm Stadium and they say everybody's sitting, Jacoby's not playing, and Clayton's going to start 4 quarters, will we even do a show? Is that even worth discussing? Because I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to lose people with this coaching staff and this team 2 weeks before the season already starts. And it has nothing to do with the grand scheme of 17 games across the, an NFL season. But I'm going to tell you right now, when people believe that you believe in a product that looks like this, then you do not get the benefit of the doubt with other decisions. Like I tweeted it out. When you are allowing Clayton Tune to operate at 2.3 yards per completion and you're throwing the ball at the line of scrimmage every other play, you are telling this fan base you do not trust him, that he cannot play. Yet you kept him this whole time. And you're robbing players of an opportunity to showcase what they can do. Like, listen, I would probably think more fondly of Drew Petzing. Like, if you had another player the caliber of Jacoby Brissett that came in here and operated well and you were developing him, I mean, it's the biggest reason why, like, we should be watching right now. And somebody tweeted this out. And I agree with 100%. They should have taken a quarterback day 3 of the draft. We should be watching whomever that is. Or they should have signed another veteran. Not this. This is unacceptable to go through the preseason with and the training camp.
I don't think anybody, that we talked to people after his rookie season in Tune, and there's confidence that this guy could be a backup in this league. Now that was, just a season under his belt as they convert for another first down. Jeez. Another season under his belt to where they thought, okay, with some seasoning, with some development, this is a guy that we believe in. They see the skill set. See a little bit of sneaky athleticism. They see the arm strength, and it just hasn't gone anywhere. It hasn't improved since year one. It's either the status quo or maybe even a little regression. We do have. Stick with us if you want. I think there's probably going to be more conversation and things like worth talking about than what you're going to witness in the final 30 minutes of this game.
Part of it too is like they got to Denver on Wednesday. I'm sure they're tired of being there, and I get that.
Like Noah was joking, like if DeVito gets cut, he's QB4. Bring him in.
Yeah,
I mean, go. There's going to be quarterbacks that are going to hit the open market.
Yes,
and it's the devil you know versus the devil you don't know, and it's just the Clayton Tune, the Tune squad. It's run its course here in the Valley, and it is what it is at this point. It's like I think people are. It's as far as watching it on full display, the idea of having to endure 4 quarters potentially this next week after watching basically what is it going to be 3.5 today or 3 solid today.
Yeah.
It's just too much. You can't subject people paying money to go to the game or turning on the game and wanting people to, companies to pay ad dollars to attach to your game locally to watch that.
We're going to talk about Jacoby Brissett and his performance. We're going to break it down here in a little bit, but I'm with you. I'm confused by, because last year it was like preseason doesn't matter. No one's playing. Right. And this year it was like, we need to play the first game. And then I thought we were going to ramp up to like, okay, we're playing starters this week. Let me ask you a question. I want you to be 100% transparent as you can be, because I love Jonathan Gannon. Did Sean Payton make this decision for the Cardinals? Did Sean Payton tell Jonathan Gannon, we're doing our joint practice. We don't plan on playing our starters in the game. Like, are you going to play your starters? And then then Sean announces it, and it's just like everybody else who played their starters last week played them more tonight. Russell Wilson's out there, a bunch of teams. Brock Purdy played tonight. Why are we not playing starters tonight? Because a lot of teams are doing joint practices and then playing their starters. Now it's like you took one step forward, and I thought their performance last week against Kansas City was really encouraging.
Yeah.
I thought their 2s and 3s especially looked good. Tonight it was like, it's like almost like you practice Thursday and you're like, we're done for the week.
Right. And I think Thursday played a big role in Gannon's decision more so than Sean Payton. I don't think Payton forced his hand. I don't think that.
No, but it just, the optics of it are just, it's just strange. It's just like that only came out from our guys, Zach Stevens, who got it from Sean Payton. It's like Cardinals aren't playing their starters either. Right. Why are they saying that? Why is that being reported by another franchise?
Right.
Why is Sean making that announcement?
Yeah. Why are we the last to find out? It's almost like we knew it when the Cardinals media asked it to, but it's not something I feel like we're going to pursue, or it's really going to be interesting to see how they operate next week and how the approach, if there's going to be an early mention of who's playing and who's not. It's going to be fascinating after a performance like tonight.
Listen, I love Jonathan Gannon, and coaches can make mistakes. They're human like everybody else. And he looked like he just immediately wanted, he was being interviewed by Danny Surek, does a great job for the team. And he's like, I got to get to this locker room because we're giving up 10 yards per play. It's like, I can't imagine the messaging.
It was an atrocious performance. Preseason, whatever season it is, that was an atrocious performance. You never want to see the players that you go to war for, that you go to bat for, that you've talked in the pre-draft process, that rostered, have coached up, talked to, and then go out there and produce that half of football. It was ugly. 24 points.
I'm not saying that they folded, but I'm saying, like, were they swayed by it? Was it their decision fully?
Yeah,
I hope so.
I think that the big emphasis this week, as far as this preseason week, was joint practice. I think that's what they wanted.
But even like Kyler Murray not playing, like Denver still played a lot of like Pat Bryant is going to play a lot for him.
Yeah,
like
he's a rookie. He's a rookie
at
Illinois.
Troy Franklin, he scored 2 touchdowns. Like, I get it. Sutton and Marvin Mims are their guys, but like, right. I think the Broncos are good. It speaks to that. Like, if people who were not at joint practice, like that's what it looked like, a joint practice for Bo Nix. Like what happened today looked like Thursday at joint practice. So yeah.
If they'd kept Jacoby Brissett in that game though, I mean, it would have been way different. Like,
yeah, they would have sustained drives. Yeah,
they would have sustained drives. The opportunities for Stidham to go out there and look like Joe Montana.
It's probably 21-14 at the half.
Yeah,
they probably score, and then they have one less touch or one less possession for a field goal.
17-10. I don't know. But you're not just running this offense where you're just like, this is unwatchable.
But Bo, like, how can you watch Clayton Tune in practice and think we're going to put him in a game in the first quarter of the second preseason game?
I know.
I was sitting with my dad and my son, and I looked at that and I'm like, they can't be. This game is over.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Cardinals start another horse show possession.
Snap goes through his hands.
Cue the clown music, the circus music.
Snap was a heater that it was almost too hot to handle.
Hospital balls.
Yeah, but Tune, he almost takes poor Travis Vokalek and puts him in the Denver local hospital.
Call Snoop Huntley, call the Browns.
Denver Mercy or whatever the hospital is around there. Almost had Travis Vokalek come in as a patient.
You can have bad quarterbacks on your roster. Most teams' backups and backups are bad, right? Mm-hmm. Third stringers are bad. But when you've drafted a kid and you've kept him around for 3 years, that's a complete indictment of you. Look at DeMercado. I've done a complete 180 on DeMercado. He's a gamer. He's an absolute gamer. I'm excited.
Surprised he's in there. I'm surprised he's seeing action.
Look at their probably
other guys.
We have to be able to manufacture yards. That's why they're saying it. We can't do anything else. You should be running 13 personnel and just trying to get like 3 yards per clip and get this sucker over with.
3rd and 7. What's your prediction here?
Zach. I actually think the offensive line has been pretty good tonight, minus the run blocking has been bad. But I thought the pass protection with Jacoby, I thought it looked really good. Josh Fryer in there. I thought John Gaines looked good. Let's see what he does. You're ahead of me.
No, they're not going to go. Looks like the offense is coming. They did suffer an injury. Hayden Connor went down early in this game. Was it a knee? It was actually Danny Surek reported it was a knee. So we'll see what happens with the 6th round pick out of Texas. He said on the broadcast he was having a good camp. I disagree with that. I think Hayden Connor was playing for a roster spot. He because of how poorly he had played. And, we'll see what the significance is of this injury as the Cardinals punt. It was a 3-and-out boomer of a punt by Gillikin.
Gillikin, you are special. All right, we're going to go to a break. Producer Noah's telling us we can't keep slandering Tune for 60 minutes without talking about some of our phenomenal partners. But best assured, there's more of that coming. Cardinals missed a flurry of tackles on special teams. Good Lord. We're coming right back. Shield your eyes, friends, as the Bet365 bet from earlier tonight is going to go out with a whimper. 38.5, the under might still hit, but the Cardinals money line is on life support. Let me tell you right now, our friends at Bet365, never ordinary. Check them out right now. I'm so fired up for this season with our friends at Bet365, Brack, because, again, when you look at the landscape of the betting scene, there is nobody I would rather be doing it with than Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. Deposit $10 in your account and then place a 5 spot, right? And then you're going to be cashing in with $150 in bonus bets. No questions asked. Right now, Bet365 is the place to be when you're thinking about player props, futures, money line, parlays. I'll tell you what, last week looked pretty good. Plus 340 today, not so much. But download the Bet365 app today. Do the bonus code, by the way, PHNX365. You got to be 21 years and older, physically located in the great state of Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov for more info.
I don't need a hug right now. I'm having a great time. Who is it saying that? Owen, I'm having a great time hanging out with all of you for the second half. Also having a great time talking about our friends over at Monarch Money, right? We're talking about Monarch Money because you're making money with Bet365 and then you're going to reinvest that and you're going to grow yourself some real wealth. It's not just about saving money, being able to pay your bills. It's about building real wealth with what Wall Street Journal calls the best budgeting app of 2025. Check it out for yourself and save while doing so. How about half off your first year with Monarch Money at monarchmoney.com by being a listener and viewer of PHNX Cardinals by using the code PHNX. Check them out right now. CNBC's top fintech companies in the world. Also, they've got best budgeting app, as I said. Forbes best app for couples. So many ways that you can cash in using Monarch Money and doing it at 50% of the cost by being a listener of PHNX. Check them out, monarchmoney.com. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the code PHNX at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year, 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code PHNX.
Everybody hit that like button. Again, I want to remind everybody this post-game show brought to you by our friends at Bet365. Big thanks to everybody watching live. Jacoby Brissett, the highlight of this game, as the Cardinals have yet to enter the other side of the field with Clayton Tune. So take that for what you will.
Want to go through some Tune numbers?
Yeah, go ahead.
8 for 12 for 30 yards. That's 2.5 per pass attempt. Yeah, not great.
Don't you feel like, as I keep trying to get, Broncos have a player down. I keep trying to get to, like, if you're the Cardinals, this is a very difficult situation to walk here, because if you don't play him next week or you feel like you can't play him early, that's an indictment of you for carrying this guy for so long. But then on the flip side, and I get when people are snarking it up saying, well, you can't subject Brissett to injury. I think the Cardinals have made their bed with this. And unfortunately, I mean, like, you have to play both Kyler and Jacoby next week. I think that if you, because Gannon's going to probably tell their intentions early this week, don't you? He's probably going to say, like, we're either starting players or we're not. But I'm going to tell you right now, I think their intention was to not play players this week. As Gannon put it in his presser in Indy's, like, we're running out of time here. Like, roles are set. If that's the case, then you need to spin it. If you're Gannon, like, roles are set. Now it's about tuning it up for the regular season. And we want to get some good reps in at home in front of our crowd against a team we respect, like the Raiders. Blah, blah, blah. That's that's how you got to spin it. Because if you spin it like, we've seen enough, we're good, and we're going to subject people to Clayton Tune for 4 quarters, you're gonna have major pushback. Part of this is optics right now, because the optics are not good.
Well, I mean, and then, like, the argument that can be made is, like, how can you evaluate your wide receivers, your offensive line, even when you've got Clayton Tune out there just throwing the ball at the line of scrimmage or before that or incomplete? Right. There's just not, it's just too tough. You're really going to have to rely on the tape to see, like, well, would this wide receiver beat this cornerback? Would he have found an open spot? Like, I won't know for sure because the ball's not going that way. I just think it makes it too tough to evaluate, to where you at least have to give yourself a chance for some in the game to make use on the offensive side of the football for that. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens. And it can't matter what Pete Carroll's going to do in the finale and how he's going to. And I don't think that there was any kind of Sean Payton kind of finessing what he was going to do or not do. He's not that impressionable, but run your own race here as far as what you're going to do in the third preseason game. You got enough time between the preseason finale and the season opener, almost too much time, because like I said, the last significant and important, stage and competition that Kyler Murray faced was just the other day. And that's going to be a long layoff between then and the Superdome come September 7th.
Let's talk about Jacoby Brissett as the Cardinals. I tweeted it out, 113 yards of total offense. Egregiously bad. They have no one to blame. We will not blame Jacoby Brissett, our X Factor player of the game. 6 for 8, 57 yards, a touchdown. Probably would have orchestrated a scoring drive on the first possession. Looked good. Hayden Connor, during his injury, missed on a pull, and the Cardinals immediately lost 4 to 5 yards and never recovered. Xavier Weaver dropped a pass that was on time from Brissett. So I think if you're trying to escape the narrative that we are, that Brissett should be starting and Kyler Murray's a bum, Clayton Tune's doing you a favor tonight, because as well as Brissett has played, Clayton Tune has been so horrifically bad that I think very little chatter right now is Jacoby Brissett starting over Kyler Murray, which is not a fair take in my opinion. You can disagree, and you have the right to disagree. If Jacoby Brissett had played the first half and had 3 touchdowns, like a Stidham half, then there are going to be people that says he's starting over Kyler Murray. But because they pulled him after 2 possessions, and everybody's fresh in their mind that it's Clayton Tune time, then I think that's quieted to some degree.
Yeah, I don't think there's any true fan out there that honestly believes that. If it's a bit contrived, to try to figure out.
Are you sure?
I understand how I've been on Twitter before, and I understand that conversation happens, but it's just not really within reality.
Right.
Jacoby Brissett understands his role. Everybody understands the writings, all over the walls here. Kyler Murray's the starter. It's just the same is the team you just played. Jared Stidham has been unbelievable this entire preseason training camp, and he's a zero threat to Bo Nix, and that's how it should be here. I think everybody understands what their role is on this team, and I think the confidence though has to be strong as far as what you've seen now 2 consecutive weeks from Jacoby Brissett. I mean, he's just been so strong as far as just getting the ball in the playmakers' hands and letting them go make a play. And he's done it in a variety different of ways. So, Brissett, I think is really the lone dog out there. You're hey, he had a good Saturday, because everybody else, man, it's uneven performances to poor performances. Semi Fioco, who, I've been on record, I think he's going to be that Zach Pascal.
You were ahead of the curve on him.
I do. I just think he's a bigger bodied wide receiver. Almost tight endish size. Stanford guy, comes over from the Chargers, who they've got the same philosophy: no block, no rock. So he's gonna be, I think, your Zach Pascal, do it all, play special teams. Sam Acho was mentioning that on the broadcast, and then showed the ability when his number is called to make a play on offense. So I think he rounds out your receiver room as your 6 wide receiver. Xavier Weaver, we could talk about him. The first drive, that was, probably the downside to the Brissett time, where I thought there was a chance for Weaver to make a play, and he didn't. It was on 2nd down, and then, people came after Petzing for the 3rd down call. That was a throw to Tayshaun Palmer at the line of scrimmage, but you catch that ball on 2nd down, you're in a lot better spot. You want to see Weaver make that catch. I thought Weaver should have pulled his 2nd consecutive DPI in as many weeks, but they ended up calling, I think, illegal hands to the face at the line of scrimmage, and there was a no call downfield that they missed. But, Weaver, probably want to see him ringing that ball, but otherwise a catch for 17 yards in this game on 3 targets.
Yeah. Disappointing for everybody not. You know what, though? I thought the offensive line was good. better than last week. I thought the second unit struggled against Kansas City's twos and then got better as the game went on. I think the O-line's been relatively good tonight. Like outside of like run by, they haven't given up a sack tonight.
Yeah.
I thought Josh Fryer and John Gaines have been solid. I thought Jacoby Brissett had a ton of time to throw. I thought he looked good in the pocket. They were booting him around. Like aesthetically, with Brissett in there, I thought it looked good. Like the Cardinals moved the ball well. And again, like this is twos against twos. So I'm not here saying like Brissett would look like that against, like we know what Jacoby Brissett looks like against ones. We've seen that for 10 years. He's been in the league for 10 years. So he's 30 years old. But I think great signing. You brought him in. He's had a great preseason. Yeah. But I not to beat a dead horse here, but I'm going to do it. Like the Cardinals have had a tough time with this regime as they're just missing tackles left and right. Elijah Jones went down earlier. That's just terrific.
Just blazed past Xavier Thomas and Elijah Jones on that. Yeah.
Is Elijah Jones in the game still?
Yes. Yep.
He was just down. How is he in the game now? I don't know.
Unless you're ahead of me, I've got the Broncos about the 11-yard line.
No, I'm right. Elijah, was I wrong, Chad? Elijah Jones was just that. This is not good podcast. No, somebody else was down. Do they have another player named Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a struggle. The team, Denver Broncos are about to go up 31-7.
Sam Ellinger now. It's not even Jared Stidham, and they're just having their way, just moving the ball.
Jalen Jones, who went down. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We all piled on Elijah Jones. Turns out he's not hurt again. His play just continues to be atrocious. Cardinals getting blown off the ball here. As the Broncos now have a pivotal third down to try to convert. Let's look
Somebody in the chat, Johnny, said that they're carrying 5 wide receivers. That seems like too slim of a number for me, especially if you run very rarely with the Cardinals on offense, running 4 wide receiver sets, but like you have one guy go down and then you're putting a running back out there. Then you're putting a tight end out there.
Can I push back for a second? Like, don't you feel like that's very on brand for this team? Like that feeds into exactly what I think. They'll carry 6 wideouts out of like sheer necessity because it's like, well, you're an NFL team, you're gonna have 6 wideouts, but deep down, they love their RBs and their tight ends. They don't use their receivers. That's why it's so refreshing. And saw Jacoby pass a touchdown to a receiver. It's like, this is great. This is what an NFL team looks like. I said it on Friday, and I think I said it on the post-game show with Bo on Thursday at DNVR. The Broncos offense is night and day better than the Cardinals. Like their passing game. Cardinals will run the ball, and they can do that well. We know that. We've checked that box for each of the first 2 years under Petzing. The passing game for the Broncos is so much more sophisticated than whatever the hell the Cardinals are doing, and it's evident. And it's depressing because it makes you, as Darren Holmes gets an interception, it makes you disappointed that there's a ceiling clearly with Drew Petzing, at least right now, because it doesn't look like that. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Marvin Trey should trump Marvin Mims and Cortland Sutton and Dirt McGirt and the guy Pat Bryant from Big Ten, Illinois, and like, doesn't matter. They look way better throwing the football downfield. Michael Wilson should be on par with that. You can make a case that Kyler Murray needs to be more consistent. I'm with you. The scheme is a problem right now. The passing game scheme remains a problem for me.
I'm going to reserve judgment on that.
Okay.
And how many years has Sean Payton been calling plays in the NFL?
I know, but you can be disappointed to compare it.
And then we're going off of training camp in a preseason game. What'd they do? They pushed him back, penalty on Denver. They're going to retry the kick here. So that's be 27-7. Yeah, that one goes through to under 4 minutes to play in the third quarter as we continue here. Do we need to hit another break here?
Yeah, I disagree with Jalen. Drew Petzing feels to me like a run game coordinator, an elite one. The passing game, we got a serious question marks about.
Did it not look decent with Jacoby back there today?
Yeah, but I think that's a lot of people's point. It's just like, oh, Jacoby Brissett looks good throwing. Like, what I need to see Drew Petzing.
Kyler looked decent when he didn't throw a pick last week.
Well, but he did.
Throwing the ball down the field.
He did in the red zone.
Guys,
he threw a pick.
Guys, that's not Drew Petzing he's not. I know he's not a large guy, but he's not on the shoulder of Kyler Murray saying, "Throw that ball, throw that ball."
I need to see
throw it to the flat.
I need to see Drew and Kyler produce a high-level passing game. I don't care whose fault it is. Figure it out. You've had 9 months to figure it out.
I mean, you had like 12 yards to Michael Wilson. You had 15 yards to Marv. You had 21 to Trey McBride. Like,
how'd they look in joint practice trying to score touchdowns against the Broncos defense?
Trey McBride looked great.
Yeah, we know.
I'm just saying, let's reserve judgment here. And then, like I say, what about Jacoby Brissett? You know, he hits a guy for 16 yards. He hit third guy for 13 yards before that. I mean,
do you think people are in the chat? Then we got to go to break. I'm going to pose this to my co-host. Then we'll go to break. Do you think it's a wide receiver friendly scheme?
How do we know right now? I mean,
I think we have enough of a sample size, bro.
It looked better. They've obviously, there's an emphasis on it, and you guys want to look at 2 preseason games where Jacoby Brissett was the only guy that played today. Kyler didn't even play. I'm looking at Clayton Tune just can't throw the ball downfield.
Now, whose fault is that? Who's sticking up for him? Is OC? We're going to get back to this horror show right after this. But first, let me talk to you about our friends at Mack Weldon. Mack Weldon, I'm going to tell you right now, I have been waiting for a renaissance in my wardrobe, and Mack Weldon is here to take care of your boy. I'm pitting out tonight watching this game, and I'm like, I need to throw on one of my premier soft point t-shirts. They balance classic pieces with updated details, keeping you sharp. They got skivvies, they got shorts, they got tees, they go casual, they go dressy, they go fit to style. If you're talking about like Mack Weldon is like a deep pass for 50 yards as opposed to those other name brand checkdowns at the line of scrimmage a la Clayton Tune, you know where you want to be with that classic breathable pieces that feel like you're on vacation. It's a call to action. Go to MackWeldon.com. MackWeldon.com. Get 25% off your first order of $125 or more. It's easy to spend money there because everything is well priced. And I'm going to tell you right now, redo your wardrobe at a minimal cost with the bonus code PHNX. That's MackWeldon.com. Bonus code PHNX, Bo.
I love that. I love that we're on the move right now at PHNX Sports. PHNX Studios resides still downtown. And when life moves forward, we'll be there with our friends at 2 Men in a Truck Moving. Call them right now, 480-991-1805. Like, moving is probably number 1 seed worst things you can do in your life. The only way to alleviate that is to have movers you trust that are going to get the job done for you quickly, conveniently, and just up to the standards that you should have for you and your family when you're on the move. Check them out right now. For your next move, go to 2menscottsdale.com. 2 Men in a Truck, the movers who care. They're going to get that change of scenery set up for you, your new beginnings, off on the right foot with how they're going to move you on. And check it out. They're doing it right now for PHNX Sports. Let them do it for you and your family, or just for yourself, whoever may be on the move for you. For your storage needs, visit 2menscottsdale.com to learn more about their storage solutions.
Everybody hammer that like button. Would do us immense amount as we try to push this faux post-game show. As Clayton Tune and the Cardinals' decision to tank this preseason game has thus tanked our halftime show. But we will soldier on, and we will count some Cardinals here on a PHNX Cardinals post-game show. Let's see it. Noah Man. Some standout performances, kind of maybe. It's probably one of the toughest counting cards we've had to do. Simi with the touchdown. Drafted in 2021, I believe he was a 5th-round pick of the Dallas Cowboys. Bounced around from a couple franchises. Has that height that we know Drew Petzing loves. And as my co-host mentioned, probably going to take on the Zach Pascal role of years prior. So look good, sitting next to Marvin Harrison Jr. on the sideline. 2 key rookies in the secondary today. Some good, some bad. Both Denzel Burke, Keaton Crawford joined Bo and I this summer. And they looked the part physically. They just need some more seasoning. I thought Burke played an early pass really well, had a pass defended, and then subsequently gave up some big-time plays to a couple wide receivers for Denver who can move. And then at the timing of this little fanboy podcast, Keaton Crawford everywhere, 6 tackles. Keaton Crawford getting a lot of run at safety. Mm-hmm. Do you think there's a chance, Bo, as I jump around here, that they keep 4 safeties? Or keep Keaton Crawford over somebody like Joey Blount?
No, I don't think so. I think there's a lot of respect inside the locker room and on the coaching staff for a guy like Joey Blount. His role is defined. Like, you see Joey Blount play a little bit safety in these games. But no, I don't think that I think Keaton Crawford could make it strictly on his special teams prowess, and anything he's showing is just added value on defense. But I think there's a real chance the seventh rounder makes the team just because it's going to look like a fifth safety. You understand that Blunt and Crawford play big roles on that fourth down play.
I like what I saw from Keaton Crawford. You saw the ball skills last week. He can tackle in space. I think Denzel Burke's going to be a good player. And Will Johnson had an off night. Will Johnson had a tough week. The second round pick of the Arizona Cardinals. But again, like Robert Taylor Demerson's been great this camp, had a bad night. Like nobody tackled tonight. Mm-hmm. It was contagious. And again, that goes back to coaching, right? Like singular player can be off and you're like, get him out of the lineup. But literally, collectively, everybody had problems tonight trying to wrap up. Nobody looked good.
Yeah. No, I agree with Perfect Remedy. Keaton Crawford probably does get scooped up. They're going to have a lot of guys scooped up after their Cardinals career comes to an end. If anybody that they're going to be able to potentially practice squad, that's going to be good for the organization because I think they got some good players. 3rd and 10, the waning seconds of the third quarter mercilessly will come to an end. Clayton Tune.
This is our first watch long actually we've ever done with this podcast because we only get so many games or preseason games.
All got tipped at the line. Green had it with a little space in front of him. Could have helped his quarterback out. It does not happen. Goes off his hands. Blake Gillikin, second half MVP, stepping in here for another punt.
Really ugly. The most ugly. Do you have concerns about the momentum or lack thereof heading into the regular season? Or are you somebody of the mindset like, well, they can just flip a switch because they're playing a bad team in New Orleans?
I don't think they can. I think they should know you can't just flip this way. The league is too good. You can't just turn it on. There are very few teams, especially in the NFL. You look across sports like that flipping the switch thing, like that is not a way to make a living. Like I understand like health is a big thing and the preparation, the process behind the scenes, like needs to be dialed in and sometimes can mimic playing games. But no, I think that this does kind of murky the waters leading up to potentially to the regular season, to where it's tough to say, hey, definitively, like this team's ready to go when the time comes. So yeah, I don't like the idea of flipping the switch at all. I think that's you need a few more better performances from some of your key players early on. But at the same time, like I'm not. We just had that discussion like about Petsing. Like I'm not sitting here. I'm not going to crush the guy for watching mostly Clayton Tune throw the ball.
That's fair. And I thought Drew was good last week throughout the course of the game. I agree with the chat. It was an oversight by me, Ryan, that I left Blake Gillikin off of counting cards. I'm so sorry about that.
Well, he hadn't had those 2 punts yet. After those were afterwards.
He's unbelievable.
Just put I think the Broncos on the 8. They're on 8-yard line. Let's take a look. And then what's his long on the day?
I'll tell you,
his long was 70 yards.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. You want some updated Clayton Tune stats? Get your barf bag out. 11 of 16, 45 yards, 2.8 yards per average completion. Not sure I've seen worse. And like somebody earlier in the chat, it's like preseason, like you're playing free. You can rip it, baby. Like we're not asking you to be a game manager here. Like push the ball down. Just try and push the ball.
You're not making a roster dumping the ball off at the line of scrimmage.
But don't you think that that's coaching too? Is just because they don't ever throw the ball downfield. Don't you feel like that a little bit? That's just like, we're just going to play within the confines of the offense and we don't want to turn the ball over and that we have infinite tight ends and check it down to the back. I mean, like that's how they operate with K1 last year. Like you watch Jarrett Stidham and it looks good, right? Because he is running guess what? Bo Nix is going to run. And what Bo Nix looked like last week. Like, fair or not, the offense that we see with Brissett and especially Clayton Tune is the offense that Kyler Murray is going to be running. So when we watch, don't smug that off and drink your Modelo on air.
It's not the same.
It is the same.
It's not. It's not.
You're saying he's running a different. It is the same
It's
offense.
the most watered down vanilla version of the Cardinals offense that this as far as the
jailbreak screens
preseason
have been a
goes.
staple forever. I've seen that since
They barely play the same sport, Clayton Tune and Kyler Murray. Please admit that.
He backed up Kyler Murray last year. What does that say? At what point do we have to be concerned about this franchise's ability to evaluate quarterbacks? Colt McCoy in 2023, Desmond Ridder last year, and now Clayton Tune.
How do you feel about the two quarterbacks they're actually going to move forward with? How do you feel about it?
I feel good about the players. Yeah. We got to go to break. We're coming right back. Get your barf bags. Watch-alongs are elite. So are our friends at APS. It's hot outside. Eating up in the Cardinals locker room. People are going to get ripped out. I wish I could see that. I'll tell you what I want to see, though, is robust energy costs. APS is here to help you. It's no secret that everyone in Arizona is looking for ways to stay cool and comfortable during the summer, but managing your energy bill is so important. Doing both a lot easier with a smart thermostat. Again, if you're on the APS time of use plan, you can use your smartphone or device to automatically adjust the thermostat. Take advantage of lower costs at peak hours. Remember, nearly half of energy costs come from cooling and heating. A smart thermostat can help you manage your energy bills. Can't tell you how much I was paying before APS the last several years in AZ. APS customers can be eligible for smart thermostats as low as $0, free $99 when you enroll in the APS Cool Rewards program. If you have a smart thermostat at home, see if you're eligible to enroll in Cool Rewards, plus free install is available. Link in the description. You got to be an APS customer, pay shipping and taxes. Other restrictions apply. Go to marketplace.aps.com for more info.
Love that from APS. Love this from Mountain America Credit Union. We're on the road. I had no issues as far as spending money out of the state of Arizona. But when I'm home, I like to go to the friendly confines of Mountain America Credit Union. Hundreds of branches throughout the West. Over 1 million users as well. Everyone needs a checking account, of course. You're not just going to, keep your money in the freezer or anything crazy like that. Get an account with built-in benefits. Get the perks from your checking account. Mountain America's MyStyle Checking Account has the perks just for you. You can enjoy restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts, offer on travel and events, and so much more. Make MyStyle your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/mystyle to apply. That's macu.com/mystyle to apply. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost for registration, activation. Terms and conditions and exclusions apply. Check them out, macu.com/mystyle.
I'm going to ask my co-host a question here that is not, it's not an easy question to ask, but we have to ask it. This is year 3 for Jonathan Gannon, albeit the preseason. Is this the kind of vibe that you want going into a pivotal season right now? Is this an indictment on what they've been building?
This game?
Yeah. How they performed tonight.
I think this is this on a very small sample size is sure an indictment. Sure. This is not, you never feel good about performances like this, where you're just completely undressed in every phase outside of Blake Gillikin, booming punts. It's been ugly. And I think that there's going to be, obviously, ramifications for this, and we'll see what they are. But no, as far as truly, is this going to impact Gannon and his coaching staff?
No, I don't.
No.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just
microscopic.
I think, when we're waiting for the pop year, when this is supposed to be the pop year, and the culmination of the rebuild and the roster looks good. As you pointed out to open the show, a lot of players that were getting boat raced in the second quarter are going to be counted on to help this team, as the Cardinals are just getting destroyed this drive. Poor Elijah Simmons was on the ground. My sweet baby Elijah Simmons, get up. I do feel like this is not the kind of performance that you want to be having entering this kind of season. This is the kind of performance that you have year 1 of a rebuild. This is what it looked like a lot in year 1 of a rebuild. And what I was so excited for about the preseason, like a sicko, is where you've made 28 draft selections and you've got all this young talent and you've been molding these players. And it's one game, and they played off tonight, and they looked better last week against Kansas City. But for me, it's like I want to be able to believe in the trajectory of this team,
Mm-hmm.
and I look at on the opposite side, and this is very poetic and convenient. Sean Payton was hired at the exact same time as Jonathan Gannon
Mm-hmm.
and the staff. And this is what the Broncos look like.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what the Cardinals look like.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's fair to, and I put it in my article, go PHNX.com, you have to be able to compare that. Cardinals last year were competitive. Broncos frauded up to 10 wins.
Yeah.
But I viewed both the teams similar trajectory, right? And now it's like, well, I'm looking at this, and this doesn't feel close, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I get it, the starters aren't playing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an uneasy feeling going into a pivotal year. I would much rather be feeling like, man, the team looks good. They're looking like, you remember the year that Bruce Arians?
Everybody wants. Yeah, of course you want to feel that way. I mean, no doubt about it. Hey, I get this like nice, almost near guarantee that this team is in a great spot going into the season, a pivotal season. But you have to understand how these were the completely different builds of a team. I mean, Peyton takes over. Him and George Payton work in concert, and the idea was to compete right away.
Right.
And they started investing in that. They take on Zach Allen in that contract. They spend a ton of money. They throw money at Mike McGlinchey. They have a huge offseason and invest in it, where Cardinals went the opposite way. They tore it down and they rebuilt it from the studs, and they're a draft and develop team. And I don't know, like the thing is though, like when you look at the draft and develop the players for Denver, they came into probably a more conducive situation for success early on, because there was probably more established talent on the roster. Where the Cardinals, their guys are coming in and they're having to cut their teeth without very many established proven commodities on that. And I think, at some point you got to play catch up, because you got to win games against these teams to go where you want to go.
I remember a preseason game in 2013, Bruce Arians' first year, and he had Todd Bowles. And we're like, I don't know how good this team is. And they played the Packers in the opener of the preseason. Does anyone remember that? And they shut out the Packers 17-0. And they looked way ahead of schedule. And it translated. And they won 10 games, 11 games, 13 games. The preseason doesn't always tell us everything, but it can tell you some things. I think the Cardinals, and this is where I'm trying to get to, maybe I'm not doing a very good job of explaining it like this, but I do feel like the Cardinals need to go into next week with a sense of urgency to have momentum for the regular season. I think if you put on tape another lackluster performance like this, albeit with backups and guys trying to make the team, I think that sends a really poor message to the fan base. I think you need to, it's like, remember in 2008 when the Cardinals were playing like crap at the end and they played their starters in a game against, I think it was the Seahawks, they didn't need to win. And then they got hot and they, went on to win the NFC and, look good in the Super Bowl. Like, the Cardinals need to give the fans next weekend an opportunity to see this team look buttoned up before the opener.
It would be nice. It absolutely would be nice. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'd say maybe 50-50 at best that you're going to get your wish. I also think it's not essential that happens, because we have seen teams that just go through the motions on in the preseason and things get going. I don't think that's necessarily the best way to do things. Like it's tough because trying to jumpstart things right at the starting line of the regular season, where you have to take care of business against the Saints and the Carolina Panthers, and in week 3 against San Francisco. You got to have everything ironed out before then and buttoned up. And the thing that this does signify is beyond your starters, and the starters are still a bit of a question mark, even though you feel a lot more confident. Beyond your starters, nothing looks buttoned up. It looks the furthest thing from it. And like a lot of the things that we were pounding the table for, post this, what we viewed was a pretty monumental offseason, with the depth of this team. It doesn't look like there was much depth out there. There wasn't a lot of guys you could rely upon. Like, hey, if he's called upon, he's going to be able to go in there and take the right angle on this, keep, leverage and tackle and things like that. We just didn't see it. So, if anything, this a shot across the bow? Is this a wake up call to say, hey, we got to get guys out there to set the tone, start the game, get some valuable reps in there, and then have the guys kind of follow in their footsteps and have better performances. Because at the end of the day, it's still going to be most of the guys playing tonight, playing in week 3. But can you get somebody to establish and get the game off on a better foot, and then can you get some valuable reps in for the guys that you're asking for them to play?
We're playing around here in overtime. Cardinals with a robust, they just showed it on the screen, 17 carries for 36 yards, 2.1 yards per clip, as Clayton Tune is fielding the ball inside his own 10. I can't believe Clayton Tune's been playing in this game since the first quarter. That is criminal, Jonathan
He's
Gannon.
already got 45 yards passing. Can you believe that?
That is criminal. I cannot believe that's a thing that is happening.
I mean, he might end this game with about 55 yards passing at this point. Down he goes.
Such an indictment of you when you take over in the first quarter, and not only do you not score, but you can't move the ball at all. I mean,
are we really trying to blame Drew Petzing for Clayton Tune, a 5th-round pick out of Tucson or out of Houston?
I think
we're really trying to blame him for that. He can't play.
I think you tell Gannon and tell Austin for like
saying, hey, Bruce Arians, Ryan Lindley sucked. That's an indictment on Bruce Arians.
No,
get out of here.
No,
get out of here.
I think that, well, first of all, Bruce Arians is signing off on any quarterback they bring in, so don't do that. I mean, like Drew Petzing wanted Tip Ryman.
Ryan Lindley was a quarterback they brought in.
Well, Arians liked him.
He sucked.
He was bad.
Sorry, Ryan. I didn't mean to say Tucson. I slipped up.
Yeah, I think if Drew Petzing knew that Clayton Tune couldn't play and it was going to look like this, they should have had the foresight.
Dylan, Tune isn't even running Petzing's scheme. He's barely running anything. He's not throwing the ball past the line of scrimmage. It could be anybody's scheme. He's throwing the ball to the line of scrimmage and not further than that.
All right, hang on. Producer Noah he's telling me he has something to say about QB3 and Tune. Producer Noah, go ahead.
My only issue with all of this is that if Tune is this bad and it's been this bad for so long, how as a coaching staff / GM as an organization can you be like, oh, we'll just roll this out? There's so many valuable, way better players at QB3 out there that are not even playing in the preseason right now that could actually help out.
It's like that.
What year was Hendon Hooker drafted by the Lions?
That was 2 years ago, but Hendon Hooker's bad. No, Hendon Hooker.
What have we found out about him? Can't play.
Can't play. And he will not be on the team.
Does that make Dan Campbell and the Lions and Brad Holmes bad at evaluating?
No, not at all. It's just that after 2 years with Clayton Tune, you really gotta know this at this point. It's over. But it should have been over before the preseason started.
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
I think
the Jacoby Brissett thing looks even better.
Yeah,
the guy they thought they brought in that was better than Tune last year wasn't.
Well, but what did they do the year before? They tried out Colt McCoy and Clayton Tune for, God, man, is that the worst quarterback battle of all time? Clayton Tune and Colt McCoy. You think about what we've been subjected to. Kyler Murray.
It is run, and producer Noah making the best point out of anybody on this show. It is run way past its expiration date. It is curdled milk at this point, and we're still pouring cups of it.
I feel like I'm exhausted from this game. I am trying to adjust back to Arizona time. We were just in Denver 1 day ago, and we were watching joint practice 2 days ago. And every possession now, I'm looking up at the screen, and it's like, I just saw this on Thursday. Get this. I need to get away from the Broncos.
Yeah.
How many? You joke about keeping 5 receivers. They love their RBs. DJ Dallas playing in the fourth quarter of a preseason game. Uh-oh.
Sports hero Lindley greater than JV's Pop Warner quarterback greater than Tune.
Maybe
it's pretty accurate.
My quarterback this year on flag, he could sling it though. He at least will take shots downfield. Let me ask you a question. Have you gotten any closer to fringe guys that you're ready to cut bait on, or guys you think have made the team? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I think Keitrell Clark's getting cut.
Yeah, I think unfortunately for Keitrell, it's just a physical thing. Like he's just not big enough to play the position. I mean, you saw him get a wide receiver make a catch over him.
Yeah,
the effort level is where you want it. The competitiveness is where you want it. It's just I just think it's just too far to go. And he just doesn't. There's just a ceiling as far as what he can give you. And like it hasn't happened a lot, but like that Darren Hall play in the end zone, part of that pass being incomplete. Darren Hall. I mean, I think Darren Hall is capable of being your fifth corner.
Yeah. I mean,
you're fourth.
Yeah, he's probably their fourth. Denzel Burke's your fifth, and then Elijah Jones is just making the team. That's it's unfortunate. That's the problem with like your grandfathering in like Justin Jones and Bilal Nichols. You're already doing that with Elijah Jones. Like, how many guys are you going to do that with? Because then you start adding it up, and it's like, hey, all these players can't play. This looks really bad. All these guys are hurt. It's like, it's tough, man. The starting defense has looked good all of training camp. The depth is now a little bit questionable after tonight. When you play, because Kansas City, Mahomes played one play, basically, or threw one pass. The backup for Kansas City, Minshew, had a nice drive, scored a touchdown, and then they basically throttled down. The Cardinals have not stopped Sean Payton's offense all week. Mm-hmm. The Cardinals secondary has not done anything to slow down Bo Nix or Jared Stidham.
It's going to be wheels up out of Denver is going to be a welcome sight for the Cardinals. No doubt about it.
So it's like when you play these prolific offenses during like last year, what we see, like when they had to go and be uncomfortable in Green Bay, they got boat raced. When Washington came to town, they got boat raced. Like they beat the Rams, and then they held the Rams under 20 points because the Rams offense isn't very good. It's an offense that plays off of their defense. The Niners weren't the same team. Seattle had Geno Smith kind of, frauding it up. But they were a defensive team. Like, I mean, honestly, it makes what they did against Detroit last year all the more impressive. But yeah, it's times are tough, man. Like I'm still confident that this team can get where they want to be this year. Yeah. But I'm basing all that confidence off of things that I've seen sporadically at training camp and then just players' reputations. That's it. It is hard for me to look at what the Cardinals have put in front of me in terms of like 11-on-11, especially against other teams, and say like, this is a 12-win team. This is an 11-win team. They should be. I stood next to Benjamin Albright at joint practice Thursday. He said Cardinals should win the West. They have a ceiling of 13 wins. They have a floor of like 9 wins. But like, okay, you have talent. Let's see you execute now. They haven't executed well enough.
Yeah. It's tough to execute, especially on the offensive side of the football with who they've played the bulk of the preseason. So, I mean, that's something where you got to take that with a grain of salt. The defensive stuff, you saw Darius Robinson, saw a little bit of like Max Melton week 1. Haven't seen Josh Sweat. Haven't seen Walter Nolan, obviously. So you're really operating without anything close to a full deck. So I'm really not out here to like make any big power statements after 2 preseason games like that. It's really going to like take down my expectations for this team. I mean, but the reality is, and I said it earlier, is like when the finalized 53 is ready to go, like they've got to perform. Like they've got to show that operating like this way in the preseason put them in a position to be successful for what they view as and what is the most important part, the regular season. Got to hit that like button, by the way. Get to what do we look? What's the like goal today? 500. Yeah, got to get there. We're well short of that. Hammer the like. We continue our watch along. About 6.5 minutes left in the game. as we were forced. Our hand was forced. We abandoned just the halftime show. We went to basically a watch along / post game show all in one.
Daniel saying the starters didn't play. The Broncos starters didn't play either. The Broncos are approaching 500 yards of offense. With 12 more yards, they get there. The Cardinals have 134 yards of offense.
Yeah. Hang the banner out there in Denver. Look, I mean, you want to see what Denver is experiencing. You want to see what New York, the Giants, are experiencing when they get a good performance from Jackson Dart. He goes, 14 for 16. I haven't seen anything that really rivaled that. I mean, we saw when Jacoby was in there, we saw what looked like an NFL offense operationally and also just execution wise. But like the thing, Denver, I tweeted this out. Their second team offense, even though it had like Evan Ingram in it, Jared Stidham has been playing really well. Will Johnson was out there. Akeem Davis Gaither was out there. Jordan Birch was out there. There were probably about half of the team that started on defense are guys that are supposed to play significant snaps, and they got cut up for four plays for 90 plus yards and a touchdown. That's concerning.
Yeah. I mean, Evan Ingram looked like peak Gronk out there. I again, you might just be able to chalk this up as just this is a bad game culminating a long week for this team. But I don't know. I expected to watch this Cardinal defense tonight and look at a bunch of guys that were young and hungry and wanted to compete. And I don't know. It's tough. It's tough when you're supposed to be a defensive team, and this is the kind of defensive outing you have. I mean, isn't that, especially when you look on the flip side and Vance Joseph's coordinating the other defense, that's slowing you down. Yeah. But I mean, like, you got picked apart by Jared Stidham. Like, Nick Ross got picked apart by Jared Stidham.
Like I said, Jared Stidham's been awesome.
I think the Broncos are just...
He's probably been the better quarterback in camp against that defense.
The Broncos scheme is awesome.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's awesome. Yeah. Get to some of these super chats here. Thanks, everybody, for being patient. David Mays, back-to-back 199. Cut time, cut tune. Get your super chats in now. We'll stay as long as you guys want. Josh, $5. Will Johnson made some great plays while he was in, especially showing he has the speed necessary to play in the NFL. He just, to me, it's like, get Will Johnson out there with the starters, please. Like, let Will Johnson operate with Garrett Williams and Max Melton, Budda Baker and Jalen Thompson. You know, Will Johnson asked to play in a preseason game like this. I think it's important, but when I think the lack of enthusiasm was contagious with everybody, and that includes Will. I just feel like everybody defensively was just like, we're good. We're done. And that didn't happen with somebody like Budda Baker in the lineup.
Yeah.
Will benefit from that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Another penalty for Will Johnson today. I thought last week was really ticky-tack. Probably today was the laundry was merited. Like, he was that wide receiver was by him pretty quickly, and he was playing catch up, and that's where you kind of lose technique. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was a great day for him. Baharo, I don't think this validates Connor Orr, because Connor Orr, like, he talks out of both sides of his mouth, where he says, like, hey, they're solid at key positions, this and that. Did they turn the ball over there? Did they get bailed out by a turnover?
I'm behind you. Looks like they're about to score. Oh my God, they fumbled on the one.
Yeah.
That is so bad.
Is it Zay Jones' brother? Was that Vi Jones that picked it up, the loose ball? So Cardinals get bailed out there. Yeah.
They were wide open. He should have scored. Yay, we did it. Only allowed 2 field goals or 1 field goal in the second half.
And we get to watch Tune ball. Tune squad takes it back. Gonna get it at the 20.
Broncos are up. Broncos are up to how many total yards?
Who stripped that?
I don't care.
Elijah Jones.
Wow. The greatest play in Elijah Jones' young career. Did he? Wow. You can build on that. Good job, young man. 532 total yards for the Denver Broncos tonight. 532 total yards in what should have been 34 burger. If Jarrett Stidham had played the whole game, they would have put 50 points on the Cardinals. Two Slim Shadys.
I'm convinced that Jared Stidham is some sort of like mix of Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady.
Clayton Tune with another pass to a running back. What's the appropriate amount of time for Clayton Tune to play next week for you not to get upset? Because you are the more reserved between the two of us.
I don't want to watch another snap. I don't.
But like, how can, in your opinion, look at that? How can you rationalize Clayton Tune if you're this coach? What's the appropriate amount of time for you to say like
this? The second half.
So who's playing the first half?
No, I know, and that's unrealistic. Just knowing what, because didn't he play the entire? It was him and Desmond Ridder playing the entire last game.
Yeah. They backed themselves into a corner with Clayton Tune. You put him in the first quarter of this game, basically signifying that he's going to play the entire third preseason game.
Dylan Richards with a good super chat. 199 thoughts on off-ball linebacker Akeem Davis-Gaither, Cody Simon, or Owen Papo.
All bad. They were all bad tonight.
I think if anybody had a better performance, probably Papo had the better performance today. Simon, I didn't like what I saw from Simon today.
No,
Unfortunately,
he was bad.
And then Akeem Davis-Gaither was playing with the most at the beginning, but that it was one of the tougher defensive performance of the entire game. So punt the ball away. Was that 3 and out after getting the turnover? $13 for 20, 56 yards, 2.8 yards per pass. 56, isn't this? Didn't he throw for 56 in his start against the Cleveland Browns?
This is on brand. So maybe we should be apologizing. Like this is his game. This is what he brings to the table.
Yeah. Another 60-yard punt from Blake Gillikin.
Unbelievable. Hammer that like button.
He's got 9 punts tonight. He's averaging 53.1 yards per punt.
Man, well, here's where I'm at with this team. If you play your starters next week and Jacoby Brissett comes out and plays again and you get some mojo back, I think we're good. If you play Clayton Tune next week and it looks bad and you're dejected again, because here's the message it sends to everybody. Hey, everybody, you know what? Clayton's playing this week, so we're not going to try to compete.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea who the backup is for the Raiders. I don't know who they're planning on playing.
Yeah.
If you play Clayton Tune, you were sending a message to your locker room. We're not interested in competing at all.
If you're, Sime Fioco, Xavier Weaver, or Andre Bocellia, the tight ends trying to make this roster, you think you got a bone to pick with the decision there. It's like, you're not giving me a chance to go show my worth as a playmaker with parading out Tune again. Like, you're really doing me a disservice. I mean, Tayshaun Palmer, like there's just not balls going beyond the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Sends a brutal message to the young players on this roster. It's like, we're okay with this kind of performance, albeit in a preseason game. We're okay with that. This shouldn't be for Cardinal football, whether it's preseason, training camp, joint practices, this should not be the brand of football that you put on display.
Yeah. I will say, the special teams did play well this week. Last week it was bad.
They rebounded.
They did. They were sure-handed. Then we see some decent returns. We haven't seen a whole lot of them, but
Elliot's asking.
They forced one punt today.
Bo, they almost have 600 yards. They're gonna have
Yeah.
they could have 600 yards. Elliot asking, does Tune even make the practice squad?
No.
If he does,
I don't think so.
So you think they get another quarterback for the practice squad?
I think at this point,
then you shouldn't play. Then you should bring another quarterback in on a week and play another quarterback for 4 quarters. What an indictment of the job you did this training camp with him. You should have cut him. It's almost like you thought that you could get away with it, like nobody would notice. And it's like, no, these games are televised.
I mean, I think there could be a chance just because maybe he gets brought back immediately, but then they pivot. Like, I think it's inevitable that this year is the end. Because we thought the same thing about Desmond Ridder. Like, why would you bring him back? And they cut him and they brought him back on the practice squad just because they needed scout team reps. They needed that third quarterback.
Is that helping you on scout?
Look, I agree with you. I think it's just like time to find who they want to find as the third guy.
Can't subject your home crowd to this next week. No chance. Keep those super chats coming. Do we get to this one? Ryan asking, what's the point of option if you hand off every time shaking my head? I mean, you like the option football or the option of playing Clayton Tune? What do you think he means by that, Bo?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe probably the latter there.
Yeah. I mean, what's the point of participating in the preseason if this is the kind of performance that you're going to have? Too Slim Shady, 699. Is there any reason I think Drew's passing game is going to improve? How come the talent increases, but the production seems to be the same?
I mean, what did we see today? I mean, I thought we saw a decent performance, at least from the top offense today, right? Like the second drive, where we let's take it, look through that drive, because I thought that was a good performance by Jacoby Brissett and the passing attack to get downfield.
Well, I'll be fair too. Kyler Murray, even with the interception, was on pace to throw for 400 yards last week. Threw for 100 yards in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. And in the joint practice, there were people open that he was not hitting. And he hit Marv, but there was times where Marv was available and open. So, but here's the problem.
So Brissett goes short pass to Vokalek, then he goes 12 to Bachelia, then he goes 17 to Weaver, and then it's the 16-yard touchdown pass to Fihoko.
Yeah.
I mean, he's throwing decent balls there. I mean, they're all in the teens. It was better than last week. I mean, I think Brissett didn't throw the ball deep last week. He did have the big 43-yarder, but that was at the line of scrimmage there, Mercado. So I thought he did a decent job. And like you said, Kyler Murray did a good job pushing the ball last week.
Yeah. But here's the problem is that when you look at Drew Petzing, whether it's fair or not, like the connotation right now is that the passing game is not good enough. Mm-hmm. And so we look at a performance like this and it's a direct reflection of him. I know you don't view it like that. You view it more as Tune, but they still only have 7 points. I mean, they scored 7 points tonight in a preseason game, and it came on one drive, right? Of course it did. And then for the rest of the game,
I predicted that back in the first quarter. I'm like, we're not going to see points any longer. I mean, it's just you're handcuffed by who's playing quarterback. That's the reality of it.
So what are you putting this more on Monty Austin for not getting rid of Clayton Tune?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's your third string quarterback. I don't know. I don't want to have a lot of answers for that, but that's what I'm going to point to. I will say, like, you know, the first team quarterback, Kyler Murray, you want to see more performance, getting explosives downfield in the passing attack, more bad tackling. And what you saw from Jacoby Brissett is encouraging, but you're still not going to know what it looks like until week 1. And then, like we've even said this on the show, with a little bit further down the road kind of look at this, it's like we're not going to know until week 10 really, like what this really is going to be.
You might want to call Kazir White. Kazir White's unemployed right now.
You want him to be in the fourth quarter of
no, I mean, these awful linebackers look like shit in this preseason game. Call Kazir White's unemployed. He doesn't have a job.
Is Papa in there?
Yes,
Pepper's
he
in
missed
there.
that tackle. He missed that tackle on that yak from underneath. G Willikers, I'm with you. If you want to send a message, this is what I'm about. I'm about sending messages. Okay. Tomorrow, you get back from this trip. Look at this. This is a business trip that you get an F on for your preseason game. Okay. That you subjected your fan base to. I want them to go into tomorrow and I want people released from this team ahead of the last game. Not because they're bad people. There are going to be people out there, the rationale they always used to do with the Gardex and the Lucettas and everybody. They're not bad people. This is a business, and they failed tonight. And you send a message by saying, we failed as a coaching staff, but we can't win with these players, and you cut these players. Clayton Tune should not be on the roster anymore.
We know that, though. We knew that, but we didn't need this game to know that.
I mean, I think I underestimated maybe how bad it is. This was terrible. He had a couple like field goal drives against Kansas City, did he not? Like this is about as unwatchable as it gets. The game is mercifully over. We finally did it. The Denver Broncos finished this game.
Was this the saddest watch along of all time?
The Denver Broncos finished this game 562 yards of offense. Cardinals 135 yards of offense. Yards per play, the Cardinals had 2.9 yards per play.
Clayton Tune, 13 for 20, 56 yards, 2.8 yards per pass. Sacked twice.
I mean, the people are on Twitter making a good point. Like, this is supposed to be your most competitive preseason game because people are trying to compete for roles and try to make the team. And you look like you don't care. You look like you're not engaged. Yeah, Daniel, that is rock bottom for Clayton Tune. Get rid of him. Move on. Go get it. Go get a quarterback this week. Who are the free agent QBs we can get right now? Who's available?
I think Mike White is available.
Better, way better.
Mobile.
CJ Beathard, Carson Wentz, Tim Boyle, Jeff Driscoll, Mike White, Ben DiNucci, hopefully Tommy DeVito. Let's go, Tommy DeVito.
And then Hooker probably soon, right?
No. I loved him, but no, please.
What if you had to watch that, Noah?
I'd be sad. It'd be like a nightmare.
Ryan, $2. Is Uncle Rico available? No.
Throw the ball over the mountains. He likes to drive the ball downfield. Put him in the fourth quarter. He probably would have won that game.
Bo, you want to get to these next couple of super chats while I update the show title, please?
Please, yeah. Let's take a look at them. Brucey from the Longest Yard. Greater than Clayton Timu. Whatever the discount, not Amazon is. Keep it going. That was all Damon Dogs Go to Heaven, by the way. Junior, in my opinion, Drew Terrell needs some blame. I know we shit on Petzing, but he's wide receiver coach, passing game coordinator. They're both lackluster, to put it nicely. Are we talking about tonight? Wide receivers didn't have any chance at all tonight. I don't care if you go in out there and you're putting on a Jerry Rice route running clinic. You're not getting the ball. You're just not. Like, Clayton Tune's not finding you. He's not throwing it beyond his running backs and people who are around the line of scrimmage. So, I mean, if you're looking bigger picture and why, as far as the starters or why the wide receivers are struggling there, like, you can look at Drew Terrell, you can look at the main play caller, but I'm not looking at this performance is an issue. As I've pointed out, like, your main players in the passing game, when you've seen them in the sample size this preseason, I think the performances has been fine. It's tough to accept after watching a shitbox game like that.
Yeah, really disappointing because you feel like this team is on the precipice of a special season, and then they remind you, like,
that's true.
Animal
TV's right. Yeah, you got 2 years of lackluster performance from the passing game. I understand that. I'm not I'm not backing that up, but I mean, tonight shouldn't change. Tonight changes nothing for me.
But it doesn't help either.
What it makes no indentation on anything.
Other than they've kept Clayton Tune around for too long.
Agreed.
I'll be positive for a second. I think the defense is still going to be a great unit.
Needs to.
I don't think.
Yeah.
But I'm on the flip side, I have still major questions on this passing game. I don't feel great about it. I think they can run the football. I think their special teams are elite. I think their defense could be elite. And maybe that's enough to get you 10, 11 wins, right? But like, am I going to sit here and say, not only because of tonight, but joint practice, preseason, training camp, that I think Kyler Murray is going to throw for 30 touchdowns? No, that's not. I don't think that's going to happen.
But when did you ever have that belief?
Yeah, I thought coming in last year, he was going to put up career numbers. And then I saw the offense and I saw the checkdowns and the deep ball go away, and there were no explosives, and it was disappointing. And I gave them the immense benefit of the doubt going into this offseason, saying, okay, you know what? They're going to retool. They're going to refine it. Maybe they add a speed receiver, and they're going to correct some things. And again, they have not played a single regular season game that means anything. But you can't sit here and tell me that you think this offense is going to go from 0 to 100 based on what we saw last year. We're hoping that some minor tweaks are going to lead to some improvements, and then over the course of 17 games, you get just enough. We're at the just do just enough. This is not going to be an offense that's prolific through the air. It's just not going to be.
But there are people crashing out about watching Clayton Tune play quarterback, about who is irrelevant as far as Kyler Murray and the major players in this offense.
Well, I think you're guilty by association.
No.
Not Kyler Murray. I'm talking about Drew Petzing. You're guilty by association when there's already a stigma that you can't coordinate a passing game.
To get back to my other point, is BA guilty by having Logan Thomas?
No, because his first
Ryan Lindley?
No, because his first team could throw the football.
Okay. And that remains the biggest question that we have, I think, going into the season. But tonight's results have no impact on that. Actually, the only thing we saw was his backup quarterback put together a pretty good drive for a touchdown, and then they pulled him.
I agree with you that that has no bearing on like what the first team offense is going to do, but I also can agree like the optics are poor. There are poor optics from tonight, and you have a stigma, a stench from last year that your offense shit the bed at the most important time of the year when you needed to push the ball downfield, and then you put out this product in year 3 of your regime of an offense that looks like this. It's like I would imagine the majority of Cardinal fans.
Johnny, you're going off on the offense tonight when the defense gave up 500 plus yards.
But they get the benefit of the doubt because they were a good unit last year.
They were okay. They had the biggest turnover on the team. And I think it's just like, hey, there's change, and that inspires a little bit more hope than running it back.
They added players.
It was a complete utter disaster tonight.
For sure.
Oh, like every phase but Blake Gillikin hammering, absolutely just being a golden-footed punter and just pounding punts into the thin air in the Rocky Mountains.
But wait, I thought we agreed that when your offense looks like that, your defense, that's a contagious mentality when you are basically conceding the game.
There was nothing that was contagious about the defense's poor play tonight. I mean, it was just bad play in two phases.
I don't know. If I'm a defensive player and I watch what the Cardinals are doing offensively, yes, I get it. You're trying to make a roster, and you should have enough motivation. You're getting paid. You're a professional. They'd given
up back-to-back huge touchdown drives before Clayton Tune even got out there.
That was bad. But I also feel like this is like a not an anomaly, an outlier performance for Nick Rawls.
It better be an outlier performance for the entire organization tonight. Is that fair?
I think it's I think for the Cardinals this year, the messaging, or not the messaging, the common denominator remains the same. The offense is going to dictate whether or not this team gets to the playoffs. The defense is going to be fine.
That's been the narrative. That's been the conversation we've had all offseason long. We've liked what they've done as far as giving who we feel like Nick Rallis is a very talented defensive coordinator, obviously coupled with his mentor, Jonathan Gannon, who's a defensive mind, and flushing that side of the ball with talent and then running it back on offense was eyebrow raising. And you're like, okay, pressure's on.
Right.
You're running it back. Now you got to show that was the right move.
Right.
And that's always been the conversation. And I think we've been steadfast with that. But as far as tonight goes, Clayton Tune not being able to play football at the professional level, the caliber that's necessary, like that's not an indictment on Austin Fort. It's not an indictment on Petzing.
What?
It's just not.
It's not an indictment on Austin Fort.
It's their third quarterback. It's interchangeable. You're going to bring in another guy who can't play most likely.
Bo, they didn't compete today offensively or defensively. Offensively, they not only didn't compete, they didn't look like a NFL unit offensively. They look like a high school team. That looked like a high school team with him in there. And you see that every day in practice, and you think that that's good enough in the these are supposed to be the best players. And I get it. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel, but this is a guy that you've had active on your roster the last 2 years. He's been active on their roster. And then you're putting him out there in the second preseason game, in the first quarter, the pivotal preseason game. And you're like, you know what, though? It's not an indictment on anybody. It's just he's a bad player. Well, yeah, we know he's a bad player, but you thought it was a good.
How deep do you think they can go at quarterback? I mean, the fact that they've gone too deep, you should feel pretty good about your.
I think you can get.
There are a lot of bad third string quarterbacks in this league. It's not a position that you can like. You can find somebody like, hey, I feel really comfortable with this guy. I love watching him go in there and operate and play. No, they're usually
like the Magic Man in here.
Hey, newsflash, Johnny. Third string quarterbacks usually suck in the NFL. Most backup quarterbacks usually suck.
Not the Broncos.
I'm glad they've got somebody that we have some confidence in beyond the first string quarterback.
I think it would be easier. I'm trying to explain the anger to Bo. I think it would be easier for everybody to be cool, calm, and collected if there weren't lingering questions about Drew Petzing. But you are kidding yourself if you don't look at that tonight and you're like, well, but we're good. Everywhere else, we're great. Everything's great. And it's just like, no, you chose as a franchise, as a coaching staff, to put Clayton Tune in the first quarter of the second preseason game and punt for the rest of the game. Punt literally and figuratively. You told your team, we're fine with this performance. Mm-hmm. That's a bad look for your team.
You're not really playing in front of your fans. You had your joint practice. You have to take it all. You got to take it all and put it all in perspective. You got to put it all in context.
I'm sorry, was that game not televised? We're acting like that game like we didn't all watch that.
But the work that they put in, that they emphasized and they really wanted to take away from this week was Thursday. And that's unfortunate for the people that Saturday night.
Right.
I agree. But it shouldn't be like, hey, I'm panicking. Like, you have to realize that Kyler Murray got some work in this week against Denver's top defense.
Right. They had 17 passing touchdowns going into the last week of the regular season last year. And then we're in training camp this year. And the passing game unit has been hit or miss. And then that just happened. That's kind of where we're at. That's where I'm at.
Had me all the way up until and then that, because this has no Clayton Tune show.
It does. I love Jonathan Gannon. He's been on our show many times.
Yeah.
And I think he would respect me if he knew I disagreed with this decision. This was not a good decision tonight.
For those who've just joined us because they didn't know the plan, because Clayton Tune Clayton Tune's also to blame for every single downfall of this current iteration of the Cardinals. But, we liked what we saw from Brissett, right? I mean, even though the first series was a bit of a dud, The second series was solid, was great, moving the ball with ease, capped it with a touchdown to a guy who we think is going to have a role on the team in Fayoko. And Brissett's got his role as backup, and we saw the short yardage from Brissett. There was nothing really positive to take away from the defensive performance tonight. Who were some other outliers for those who were just joining us?
I mean, Blake Gillikin.
Yeah.
Blake Gillikin, Jacoby Brissett.
We've got Chad Ryland booming a 72-yarder in pregame. He didn't even sniff the field outside of the outside of the kickoff.
Perfect Remedy asking if we're going to see post-game presser from JG. Not on this show. Unfortunately, we are no longer in Denver, or otherwise we'd have that footage for you. But I think we could just reenact what Gannon's going to say, that was just an embarrassment, and I'm sorry I subjected our fans to that. I thought John Gaines looked good. I thought John Gaines on his two drives coming back from the hand deal, that makes me feel better. I mean, you look at
has he ever gotten back to snapping the ball, or is he just primarily playing guard? I saw him play guard.
He was playing guard.
Yeah.
But like you think about, like, you got him, you're gonna have Will Hernandez, you're gonna have Kelvin Beachum. Those are three pretty good options. We'll see. Like, if Christian Jones is toast, then Fryer comes in. It's like he makes this team. We'll see what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
Aiden Connor, you need to cut him. He can't play. But like you've got 3 to 4 options where you're like, hey, we got something here.
Yeah.
So, and Gaines and Fryer have to be part of that next regime of, like, because Beachum and Hernandez likely won't be here next year. You got to start to roll over some depth on that unit. Cardinals' first team offensive line's good.
Yeah.
Looked good last week. The Cardinals have a great unit up front. Jonah Williams, I rewatched it, looked good. Isaiah Adams looked great. Like, first team O-line. Like, and I thought in the joint practice it got better as 11s went on. But yeah, that's a positive. There's a positive for you.
Yeah. I think we're going to need to see something from the secondary. If they get an opportunity next week, feel a little bit more comfortable about the youth movement there. Like, I get it. Like, the way you get better football is playing football. But, with the injury to Starling Thomas, Sean Murphy Bunting, I know he's a 4-letter word around here, but he was a veteran. Like, you've got a second-year corner, and then you've got Max Melton, and you've got a rookie second rounder in Will Johnson, who we've got a lot of confidence in. But you see some good play from them to feel better going forward.
Yeah, I mean, Garrett Williams and Max Melton played so much.
Yeah,
last year. Jalen,
and like the back end, like Buddha and Jalen Thompson,
those guys are fine. Mac Wilson's. I mean, like, the starting defense is the same as last year, but you added better players. The defense is going to be good. It's about the offensive side of the ball, and it's about converting in the red zone, not turning the ball over, having the occasional splash play, shots, explosives. Quote the head coach. Like, that's what this team needs.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what I will say, Bo. Like, there are going to be days this year where the defense is going to be off, like tonight. Maybe not to this extent, let's hope. And the offense is going to have to score, God forbid, like 3 or 4 touchdowns for them to win a game. Yeah. And it's like, I only saw one instance last year that they did that, and we were in Miami for it. Mm-hmm. Like, this is the NFL. Like, your defense can't be perfect every week, God forbid. Right. So the offense needs to be able to say, like, we can turn it on. We can make it look, like Denver. I don't have a ton of belief that they can do that. That is I know that they can nickel and dime certain teams to hell, check downs underneath, assert their will because they have a dominant offensive line. That's great, and they're going to do that early in the season, and they're going to probably win a bunch of games. But we know this team is going to be evaluated in November and December and January. Mm-hmm. And if the run game, Seattle looked good last night. They look fantastic on their line of scrimmage on both sides. So if they are stymieing your run game, can you throw the ball downfield on them? Can you make enough explosives, right? We're going to find out.
Yep. It's going to be big. I mean, we talked to Michael Wilson. We talked to Kyler Murray. We talked to Drew Petzing. There's an emphasis on adding that to the offense. What they've lacked the last 2 years as far as explosives in the passing game.
Yeah.
They want to add that this year. but it's more than just lip service. You've got to be able to do it. And the people who are skeptical about it, they have every right to be. Say you're just running this back. It's the definition of insanity. Keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So if you're going to lean into continuity, chemistry, and just a better grasp of the offense and being able to do some next level things, which they've talked from the jump, it's got to look next level come September against the Saints, against the Panthers, against the Niners, against the Seattle Seahawks in week 4 on Thursday Night Football. That's what you're going to be judged on.
Yep. Baharo, $2. I'd feel confident if they didn't run it back on offense.
Sure. I mean, any like that's what the offseason is about. When you look at your weaknesses, you saw that it was an inconsistent group last year. Like, wouldn't you add to this? Wouldn't you look to find something that would give it a little juice? Just never happened.
They had the money. They had the resuresources.
But,
I like how they spent the resources. I like how they spent
Marv, the year 2 jump. The expectation for Marv should be able to supplement your offense to get you to go to where you want to go.
Point totals against playoff teams down the stretch last year: 6, 22, and 9. You lost to Seattle twice, Minnesota, and the Los Angeles Rams. And you averaged under 20 points per game in those games. Okay. That's when the season was lost.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's where the season was lost.
You couldn't throw the ball consistent enough against Carolina. That was a big loss, too.
Right.
Even though you scored 30.
The offense was bad.
People will say you scored 30. You gave up 36. Like, when it came down to it, especially in overtime, you couldn't put together a drive and win that game.
The officials were atrocious, too. The Cardinals were out of gas, and the Cardinals beat New England 30-17. They didn't look good in that game either. The offense didn't look good in that game. Amadeus, 199. If Kyler throws 30 touchdowns, JV shaves his head. Like, I might agree to that. Because that would guarantee this
stage in life that it might not grow back. So I'd caution you. Let's not do that.
I appreciate it. Without my hair at 5'6", what would I even have? Wouldn't have my dignity. But
if you shave your head, I mean, you might be the next play caller of the Arizona Cardinals at your size. And if you don't have any hair,
hey guys, I'm here.
We're talking about your play calling in preseason next year.
Don't you feel like Kyler Murray throws 30 touchdowns or in the playoffs and they win the NFC West?
Do you know how a big of a cure that would be? I mean, that would give this organization, that would give this fan base, that would give him life.
How many touchdowns does Kyler Murray need to throw to get to the playoffs?
I think like 26 to 30.
Yeah. Do you think he can get there?
Because, just think about it. I mean, the team averaged over 23 points per game. To be a top 10 offense, you're about 25. Like, you average that out over 17 weeks. And you throw in he threw 21 touchdowns last year. Throw 5 more on top of that. Maybe a couple, obviously you got a couple more rushing touchdowns in there. I
just can't get away from the finale, throwing 4 touchdowns in the finale. I get it. They're all important. They all matter.
Yeah. But
it's 17 touchdown passes going to the finale. Everybody hammer the like button. A little short on likes here on a post-game show. We'll go as long as you guys want with super chats. We're upset. Vent. I'm never letting Bo go to bed.
I'm not tired.
The good news is Bo's at home, so we can go as long as we want to go.
My kid's sleeping like 15 feet from here.
What an angel.
I'll yell. I'll yell at you guys. I'll yell at Johnny.
He's already started yelling. Man, Jonathan Gannon, if anybody could relay some of Jonathan Gannon's quotes, that'd be great. Anybody at that game? Let's see. Check out
who's Winefuss, Theo Mackey?
Mackey had his viral tweet from Schefter. Schefter embedded Mackey's tweet of the 72-yarder from Ryland.
No way.
How would you like to have your viral tweet get embedded by Schefter and just steal it from you? Stolen.
Yeah. I don't see any quotes from JG.
Yeah. Adam Schefter couldn't just quote tweet him, be like, "Wow, what a kick!" He's like, "I'm gonna embed this. This is mine now, Teo. This belongs to me." Gannon only met with the media for about 3 minutes.
Can you get captions on Twitter?
I don't think so. Yeah. All right, so let's do this because this is not good podcasting.
Okay.
What is your prediction for how they're going to handle this next week? Because to me that's fascinating. Even though you feel like it doesn't matter for the grand scheme of the regular season, who knows? Maybe you're right. Like, we're going to come into next week and they're going to say reset, burn the tape, whatever. We'll learn from it. How are they going to handle who plays, in your opinion? Not what you would do, but what you think they're going to do after covering this regime for 3 years.
I think we'll get kind of similar to today, where we get a little bit of Brissett and the rest belongs to Tune. I don't want that to be true. I want to see the first team go out there and get some valuable prep. I think it's possible. I'm not ruling it out.
I appreciate your sincerity,
but like, when have we seen? We only have 2 preseason years under this regime, and we just haven't seen it in the third one. Like the third has been the biggest throwaway. It's been like today was, here's your audition to make the team. This is your last chance. So they'd have to go against, what we've seen in previous years.
Got it. Jalen Blair saying Connor has a knee per Gannon.
That's what they said on the broadcast too.
I think yeah.
Or is it like a knee?
Some people are saying it was like non-contact. I'm not sure. I don't know about that.
And that was on the Michael Carter run, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I would be disappointed if I was the head coach of this team, and I would want to play my starters next week.
Yeah,
I don't care who the Raiders are playing.
I mean, it's do your starters have to really take the brunt of how poorly the backups played today, that they got to go out there and play? I mean, they shouldn't look at it like that. But
no, that's a good point though. But like, do you think they were happy?
Is that a real quote, or is that just like the stock got outplayed, needed to be better in the fundamentals?
That sounds like a Cliff quote. That's like the Cliff Kingsbury goat.
That's just standard coach speak right there.
Yeah. It's a really good point by you. It's like, but have you seen enough from those first team units to get to week 1 without any concern? I think you and I are both on the record of, no, we haven't seen enough. We would love to see Kyler Murray. You're like, everybody would feel good about the start of the regular season if Kyler Murray played and scored a touchdown in the red zone, and then we go like, okay, feel good about this. But last week, you threw an interception in the red zone, you had another drive stall out, you didn't score a touchdown. Outside of the broken plays to McBride against the Broncos, you could not engineer a touchdown drive, like 8 to 10 plays. The wide receiver cohesiveness is still not there. It's like knowing what we know, and then you add it up with tonight, it's like everybody's worried about injuries, and I get that. And man, it would be a cruel reality if you lost somebody with starters going in a third preseason game. But I'm also like, you have yourself to blame with this. You chose to do what you did tonight, and I don't care if Sean Payton wasn't going to play his starters. You just say, hey, you guys made the playoffs last year. You guys had a rookie throw the most touchdowns in NFL history last year. You guys had the number 1 defense. You can do whatever the hell you want. Here's the reality for us. We finished 2-5 after starting 6-4, and we have not looked good to begin the back-to-back seasons. We started 1-3. We're going to keep playing guys. I think that's the messaging I wish that was conveyed, but they went in a different direction. And guess what? This was the end result. You know who's happy tonight? Sean Payton. Sean Payton had 600 yards of offense. Cardinals had 130 yards of offense. So anybody who says like this was the right decision because, and I'm not saying Gannon's saying this, but just in general, if you see this was the right decision because the Broncos didn't play their starters. I can't take you seriously. This was the wrong decision. They made the wrong decision tonight because now they put themselves in a corner where they might have to pivot for week 3 of a preseason game. Kyler Murray could play one possession tonight, pick up some first downs, score a touchdown. Then you go to Brissett for a couple possessions. Then you go to Tune. I think that would have been, you don't want to play the starting defense, whatever, but I think that would have been much more well received. I think we would have had a better product and momentum going into the regular season. But now
you lose 24-7 instead of 27-7.
No, I think the optics are just way different. I think we got Bryce Young playing today. You got Caleb Williams playing tomorrow. Like quarterbacks that people are lumping in with Kyler Murray, fair or not, are playing this weekend. How about that? Kyler Murray and the group he's compared to now, those guys are trying to compete this weekend.
Yeah. Well, look, and the team that just blew the doors off you, they're going to play their starters next week.
Right? 100%.
Then we know that Bo Nix is playing next week for the Broncos, and they're going to treat it as kind of a final dress rehearsal before start of the regular season. So, I mean look, they've tweaked things quite a bit. Like we hadn't seen Kyler Murray since 2021. We saw him last week. There's a chance we could see him again next Saturday at 7:30 at State Farm Stadium. I think that'd be a nice little teaser, I think, for the regular season for the fans, especially after putting them through this week.
I mean, Gannon's got a relationship with Pete Carroll. He coached against him in the NFC West. Get on the phone with Pete Carroll and be like, "What's your plan this week? I know you've played starters in the preseason in the past. I'm planning on playing starters if you're thinking about it." I think one drive for Kyler Murray would go a long way. Mac Daddy 714 499. We look like crap. Fire putzing chance by week 5. Hope all is good, boys. All's great. Thank you so much, Mac Daddy. Good to see you.
Yeah. Look, the pressure's on. The pressure's going to be on the entire season. Like they could get off to a good start. We've outlined this where the start of the season's conducive to wins. You're playing 6 non-playoff teams to open things up, and you could look really good. Like you went from one of the hardest schedules last year. I mean, especially throwing the football statistically, to one of the easier ones this season. Like the start of this schedule is a big part of that. Like you can look good, but it's not going to completely get all the heat off of, I think, Drew Pretzing's seats in the eye of the fan base. Like if you revert back to your old ways, even after a hot start, and it costs the team games, people are still going to point the finger at you is the reason for that.
How about this? Teo Mackey. Jonathan Gannon said Rawls was upstairs in the booth and did not call the defense tonight. Look, it showed. Who called the defense, you think?
Maybe a Patrick Toney, their defensive backs coach.
And again, not to knock a coordinator or position coach, they can't tackle for their players. Their players didn't feel like tackling tonight. Yeah. I like the Cardinals defensive staff. I think they do a really nice job. I like a lot of the Cardinals coaches. Mm-hmm. Players have to perform. Do you think this gives him any?
It's interesting, though. I mean, what was he doing up there?
Probably throwing equipment, probably punching a wall. Do you feel like this would give them any trepidation from coming back to Denver next year and do another joint practice?
It is, but did Drew call the offense? I mean, I saw Drew on the sideline. I saw him there in the broadcast.
I think Clayton Tune called the offense. I think Clayton called Brissett and himself. It's like, hey, me, check it down, me. Okay, me, let's go. Me back to pass. Complete to Michael Carter.
We know this, that they don't like to show any of their hand in the preseason. We know that there's been, like tonight, if that's the case, Rawls not calling the defense. There's been moves like this before.
Yeah.
To create a smoke screen as far as their first opponent goes. Their first couple opponents go.
I mean, that's good. That's good. Let your players do the talking, though. I mean, like Is Sean Payton worried about showing anything? He's showing off. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, good for you. Hey, Peyton, hang the banner, buddy. Raise it. What a win in the preseason.
I like this. Cardinals running the 1982 Navy offense. It's like I was talking to somebody. I'm like, I've wanted a dominant Cardinal run game my entire life, but now we have it. And it's like, at what cost? I didn't know that to get a dominant run game, you had to sacrifice any semblance of a deep passing game. It's like, finally got it.
You're
What
Thanos.
Thanos mean?
It costs me everything.
Just a picture of Marv and Michael Wilson. Everything.
Kyler, too. His deep ball. Just dead.
The stone looks like Tip Ryman. The Infinity Stone looks like Tip Ryman.
You got Tip Ryman. You got Paris Johnson Jr.
Isaiah Adams' head's on there.
Yeah. James Conner.
Drew's head's on there. It is all my fault. How about this? Bubble screen said hut. Jailbreak screen said hut. Oh man. All right. Should we put a bow on this?
Yeah. The ugliest bow ever.
Poor Noah. This is how we roll during the season, Noah. These post games are completely unhinged. This team is
probably like, oh man, we're gonna start the post game show at halftime. I'll be out of here early. I'm gonna actually make dinner plans. Nope.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. The effing show. All right. Bull Brock, we recap before we get out of here. Arizona Cardinals worked by the Broncos in Denver. What is the takeaway for you?
Takeaways are, the depth that you thought you had, especially on the defensive side of the football. It hasn't developed enough for you to feel comfortable about it. Like the first two drives, you had guys that are going to play significant snaps for this defense beyond the starters that you sat tonight, and they didn't look good. So you're going to have a better performance next week. And I don't care who was calling the defense, whatever. I mean, it just wasn't. There was wide open wide receivers, not just tonight, but also on Thursday. You got to clean it up. Things have to get cleaned up and quick.
Yeah. I think Cardinals lost a lot of benefit of the doubt upcoming this week. And again, if we get a repeat showing of this, then it's going to be a long 2 weeks to start the regular season. And again, it's preseason. Teams take it seriously. Some teams don't. I thought the Cardinals had turned a corner. I applauded the decision to play starters last week. I was disappointed that he and Sean Payton revealed the news that no one was going to play starters, and Sean Payton speaking on behalf of the Cardinals, which I thought was weird. Mm-hmm. And then that's the effort you get tonight. And it just felt like the Broncos dictated everything today. And again, the Cardinals made the decision not to start players, but it's like when the optics are Sean Payton saying that, and then you get destroyed, and then you are non-competitive. It's like, I just feel like, what do we accomplish anything here? I don't feel like much was accomplished. Now, Thursday, yeah, you got good reps in. You feel good about that. I mean, Austin Ford told Bull and I to our face, good practice, nobody got hurt. So maybe that's just how they feel. It's just like, we believe so much in our player development and our on-the-fly coaching that as long as guys are getting loose and getting warm, everything will be fine during the regular season. But if that was the case, then they should have made the playoffs last year. If they had made the playoffs last year and won 10 games and finished the job, they could have done, diddly poo in this preseason and nobody would have cared. But I think it's the optics of how they finished last year. And now it's like, this is the product. This is what we're subjected to, albeit in the second preseason game. I think next week is a low-key opportunity for this coaching staff to say, this is who this team is, top to bottom, going into the regular season.
Yeah.
You disagree wholeheartedly.
No, I think you're setting yourself up for big time disappointment. I mean, they just, as far as optics pertains to kind of sending a message, like I think their focus is preparing, and if they feel like they can prepare themselves the best for the season opener that way, then they're going to do it. And I hope that plays into it, and that's how they approach it. So we don't have to be subjected to what we saw and witnessed tonight, because it's just tough. That's just a tough product, no matter how you cut it up. And I can see people, say, hey, like preseason even matters. And I understand it doesn't. Like, don't overreact either end of the spectrum. But it's just tough when you go out there and it's not fun football to watch. And that was what it was tonight. There was just nothing you say, hey, this outside of Jacoby Brissett in the offense going down the field once, it was awful. It was an awful watch.
It was. Hopefully you've had fun here on a 2+ hour halftime combined post-game show watch along with your boys. Listen, we enjoy doing this even when the team looks like ass. Do us a favor. If you've got any time, drop a like, subscribe to PHNX Sports, become a diehard, go PHNX.com. So fired up with everything we've got going on. $36 for the year, which equates to $3 a month. Get a free t-shirt, free piece of merch. There it is. Training camp special, only going on for a little bit longer. And of course, jump into that Discord, which has just been off the chain this offseason, gearing up. I'm sure it's going to be lively as ever during NFL Sundays when the Cardinals are playing real tangible games. But man, what a night. What a game. What a team.
None of that. None of that really remotely true. But no, it's always great to fire up these mics and talk about this team. Hopefully, this is the low point. This is the low point of the 2025 season, and if it's in a game that doesn't matter, obviously there's going to be lumps as every team takes in the regular season. But this was just not a good watch, not a good game to talk about. And hopefully you got the 3 quarters of Clayton Tune ball in the rearview mirror. So we'll see what comes Monday. We're going to talk to Jonathan Gannon after this, and hopefully this is all flushed. And then looking forward to the final dress rehearsal before the real thing in September. That's a week from today against the Las Vegas Raiders at State Farm Stadium.
What will that post game look like? What are we doing? Clayton Tune plays. Bo's going to be in attendance. You're going to subscribe to find out. Big thanks.
Probably leave the stadium at that point. I honestly,
so you're going to go to the game at the Tune time?
If I'm subjected to anything beyond like a half of football from Tune, I might take off.
Wow.
I'll SpongeBob meme it and say, all right.
That's sending a message, and I approve of that. I'm so proud of you if that happens. We're all going to hold you to that, all 300 of us. Big thanks to everybody. What
was the reason, though? What was the reason for the brutal performance? Drop a comment, not in the chat, but a comment down below. If you haven't dropped a like on this show, please do so. Subscribe to PHNX Sports. We got a brand new episode coming to you live with more of the fallout from this ugly, disastrous preseason game. 4:30 on Monday. We're going to be live all next week, including the preseason game. Don't miss out on any of the action. For Noah, it's coming to an end, my guy. For Johnny and myself, Bo Brack, we'll talk to you guys later here on PHNX Cardinals.
We all silly like the mayor.